I was talking about the ECE program, and because I'm the HOD of the ECE department, I'd like to actually present some of the important characteristics of ECE department. ECE is one core department which is actually going to be there in the entire world for even in future. Without ECE, to be frank, nothing can move the world. Because when I talk about ECE, I just wanted to mention communication and embedded system are two important things which is actually going to be there in future. You just imagine, or you might have seen, even today, without communication, nothing moves. So whenever you talk about a communication, electronics and communication is a part of it. And when I talk about embedded system, you take any system in the world. Without embedded system, there is no other system in the world. So ECE is going to be there as long as the world is there. So students who are joining ECE program, they will have a scope, ever-long scope, to be frank. And another important factor about ECE is a student who is joining actually other program. Let us assume it is a mechanical engineering or computer science engineering. They will not be able to actually suck into other program, but students in ECE program, they can go to a programming the company, because they here in ECE we teach them the programming languages, so they can easily fit into any computer science company. And normally our ECE students are actually absorbed by most of the company who are actually they are doing a programming, for example Infosys, and there are so many companies who come as a programming requirement. Our students are getting absorbed. And our ECE department in GMRIT, we have 240 students intake per year. And our intake is actually 240. Out of these 240, we are actually getting students admitted through CET, ComEdK, and then management quota. So all these three modes of admission is happening. And we have in the department a PG course, VLSI, Design and Embedded System. This is a MTech course, and students who complete the BE course in the department, they have always have the privilege of joining the PG course in VLSI system, VLSI Design and Embedded System. We also have a PhD program in the department, where people with the MTech degree, they can register for the PhD program in the department and complete their PhD also. The PG course is with the 24 students per year intake, but our UG course is 240 students intake per year. And our department and college is affiliated to Shivasharya Technological University, and it is actually situated in Belgaum, Karnataka. Now, the eligibility actually for admission in the college, the eligibility is a student who wanted to get a admission in the college, they should have a valid rank from at least one of these particular entrance tests. It can be a common entrance test organized by your KET, Karnataka Entrance Test Authority, or ComEdK organized by our private management in the Karnataka, or JEE qualified. They should have at least one qualifying examination to just get admitted to the UG program. And that particular test, the entrance examination, should have been conducted during this 2020. The previous year entrance exam results will not be considered for admission. So please keep it in mind. Those who are actually aiming for admission in the college, you should have at least one valid rank. When I said valid rank, rank can be anything. It should be a valid rank. They should have a rank to get admitted. So for admission, you can contact the hotline. This particular hotline is available on our website also. And where people are available in the admission department, you can always come and talk to them, or you can actually log into our website and talk by online hotline, so that they will answer all the queries that is actually need to be answered. Now, I just wanted to come to the important aspect of our the UG program in the ECE. You can see this particular diagram will clearly tell what are the covered in ECE. The ECE department, actually we are following the curriculum framed by Vishwesvaraya Technological University. And Vishwesvaraya Technological University is one of the most reputed university in India, who offers actually most of the programs. And since it is actually situated in the Karnataka, which is, we call it as a Silicon Valley of India, they frame the curriculum in such a way which is actually suitable for most of the industry. whenever they frame a curriculum, they take into consideration what are the different technology that has to be taught to the student, so that when they come out of the college, they will be actually absorbed by the industry. So whatever technology that is today presently happening in the industry, those curriculums are actually embedded into the syllabus curriculum, and it will be taught in the college. When I say it will be taught in the college, not theory alone, including, so students learn latest technology, they learn both theory as well as practical, and they will be doing the same thing whatever they are learning in the lab, so that their knowledge gets improved. When they come out of the college, they will be easily absorbed by the industry. And these particular 5 circles or 5 important things what I have given, I call it as a domain. You can see the center, it is analog and digital electronics. I can say this is the base of all other things. This particular analog and digital electronics, it is core for all other particular domains. And students, when they come to first year and then when they come to second year, they learn this particular domain, analog and digital electronics. They learn how to use the analog electronics, how to design a circuit using analog electronics, and what are the different digital electronics concepts like gates, and how to design a circuit, basic circuits using digital electronics. And along with analog electronics, they try to learn something about basics of control system and network, so that which will be useful when they come to higher semester. So with analog and digital electronics as a base, when they move out of the higher semester, they just study some of the important domains, something like you can see the yellow circle where I have put communication technology. Communication technology is one of the important technology that is happening in the world. Now, in the communication technology, now whatever that is being used in the present scenario is digital communication technology. But we don't put the student directly into the digital communication technology. We first give the introduction to communication, then we teach them about analog communication, then we teach them digital communication, then we take them to wireless communication, then to our 4G and 5G latest mobile communication. These are the different stage of communication technology students that they will learn during this program in UG. That is first basics of communication, analog communication, digital communication, wireless communication, then your mobile communication 4G and 5G. So this is the communication technology what student will be learning. Second, when they come to computation and programming, see, computation and programming is one of the important domain in particular, especially in Bangalore, where there are large openings are available, because as such, Bangalore has number of IT companies. When you are having a number of IT companies, opening for programmers are very huge. So EC department, here we have, as such in the curriculum, the Visvesvaraya Technological University, they have actually embedded some of the important languages that need to be learned, something like your C programming, then your Python programming and Java programming. Other than this, our placement department, they are actually going to teach the student special courses on Python. When I say Python, they are going to learn Python in the regular curriculum. That is the basic Python that is required as per the curriculum. But that basic Python will definitely not help them to face the interview. So our placement department, they will actually enable the student from first semester onwards with some of the programming languages. For example, when they say Python, they have different levels of Python language teaching. That is level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4 and level 5. When students are able to clear level 5, automatically I can assure you the student will have enough knowledge to be a very good programmer, and they can compete with anybody else in the industry. To be frank, the program is actually formulated into such a level, we are going to teach each and every student with all this programming, something like Python, Java, then your web-based DBMS and etc. Even your machine learning, artificial intelligence, etc., depending upon the student interest. Python is actually for a EC student. C, Python, and Java is three. Later, they can actually select they want machine learning, deep learning, or artificial intelligence, or database management. It is left to them. So we are going to actually give it to that. So computation and programming is actually a part of the ECE curriculum. So student joining the ECE program, they will not be left behind the CS student, because they will be in parallel with the CS student. So whatever knowledge a CS student is having on the computation, the same knowledge will be having by the ECE student also. So they will be able to compete with a computer science student. But the vice versa is not true. A computer science student, he will not be able to compete with ECE student on the core technology, because they don't have all the core technology that is studied by the ECE student. Next, when it comes to instrumentation and control, here also they study from basic. In the third semester, they study with a basic instrumentation technology, something like what are different types of sensors and how to interface the sensors, instrumentation amplifier, and later they will just move to control system, how to actually interface the instrumentation with the control system and design a complete system. So instrumentation and control along with power electronics becomes another important domain of the module in the ECE department. Then comes the one of the hot topic in the technology today, embedded system. Embedded system actually it is, I can say it will be there as long as a human race is there on the world in a different form. Okay, when I say embedded system, you take any system. Now I am actually, we are using a system, computer system, to actually communicate with each other. So when I talk to when I am actually presenting my webinar, I am presenting through a system. When I say this system itself is an embedded system. Then whatever I speak, it go to your network switch. Sorry, any glitch is there? If somebody is actually any problem, you can just put me. Okay. So network switch is an embedded system. Communication is an embedded system. So embedded system, your washing machine is an embedded system, iron box is an embedded system. Anything you take, now it has become an embedded system. So I can assure you, a life with an embedded system, you can easily survive on any part of the world happily. If you know a basic embedded system that is taught in the college, you can easily live happily on any part of the world. So this embedded system becomes the core part of our ECE domain. So student will be learning what is embedded system, and for this microcontrollers are important. So they will be learning about the basic microcontroller and then advanced microcontrollers, and later embedded controller or embedded system, embedded software, real-time operating system, etc., etc. So we are going to learn a complete technology based on embedded system as per VTU curriculum. So these are basic things that is required for getting a employment or placement in most of the companies who are working on the embedded system domain. Now, I just wanted to have, this is later I am going to present 2 or 3 slides, very important slides, because these particular slides will give you in depth about what we are actually as a department and what we are giving back to the students. So that is what I am calling it a highlight of the department. So when I talk about the highlights of the department, department as highly experienced faculty members. When I said highly experienced faculty members, I can say the average experience of the faculty members in the department is around 80 years. 8 years of average experience. When I say average experience, faculty, for example, I myself, it is around 28, 29 years. There are faculties with a more than 20 years experience, maybe around 8 members. More than 15 faculty. Totally, we are having around 47 faculty members. Out of that, more than 20 years experience, maybe around 6 to 8. More than 15 years, maybe around 15 and above. So something like that, when you put average experience, it will be around 8 to 9 years. So 8 to 9 years experience of the faculty is really good. And the department has very good placement record. As I told you, the students who are actually that is without backlog, when they come to the 7th sem, automatically they get placed. Only thing is this eligibility comes into picture. When I say eligibility, they should not have any backlog. And another important thing is, I told you, the department, they actually provide a basic training which is required other than what curriculum they teach us for getting placed. They have to clear those basic training also. We make it mandatory. Please note this. We are making mandatory for the students to clear all the basic training that is given by the placement department to attend the placement. So we ensure those students who are actually clearing all the basic training of the placement department, and if they have cleared the courses without any backlog in the 7th sem, automatically our statistics says 99% of the students getting placed. Okay. So I assure you, those students who are aspiring to join, definitely you will get placed. And so only thing is, you just follow our instruction. When you join the college, 100% when you are going out of the college, you will be going out with a placement in the hand. And other than this, those students who wanted to go for higher studies, there is always a scope. College has number of activity to enable and ensure that their knowledge is increased and they are going to get a very good admission in the colleges when they go for higher studies. For example, one such event is, department has 3 center of excellence. A center of excellence on embedded system, center of excellence on signal processing, and center of excellence on integrated circuit design. So what is the center of excellence? Center of excellence is a center where eminent people means people who are highly experienced and who have a practical exposure to these particular domains. They will be actually working on a projects and with a actually authorized software, that is legal softwares and high-end systems. Students will have a exposure to work system, center of excellence on signal processing, and center of excellence on integrated circuit design. So what is the center of excellence? Center of excellence is a center where eminent people means people who are highly experienced and who have a practical exposure to these particular domains. They will be actually working on a projects and with a actually authorized software, that is legal softwares and high-end systems. Students will have a exposure to work along with them, take projects along with them. They can actually work. When we are working with them, they can publish the papers, they can file the patents. This publishing and filing the patents will definitely enable them to get a better scope when they are joining a very good colleges, either in India or outside the India. And not only that, not only for getting the admission in the good colleges, but also getting a better placement. When your students are working in this type of center of excellence, their exposure on the practical world increases. Automatically, when their exposure increases, their performance in the placement interviews are very good. So, this center of excellence is one important thing that a department has. So, any students can be part of this, and there are so many activities like this which I will be talking about in future next. So department has MTech and PhD program. Students who complete your UG program, they can definitely join MTech, and when they complete MTech, they can continue with the PhD program. MTech, I told you in the previous slide, we are having MTech in VLSI design and embedded system. So this is one of the art area of actually happening in the industry, and there is a very huge scope of demand for this. To be frank, there are less number of students available as required by the industry. So, students who are getting trained in a VLSI system or VLSI domain software system, automatically they get absorbed in most of the companies that they are working on that. And this particular first point, it is we have a well-equipped laboratory and licensed software tools for all practical training. When I say practical, students need to learn theory in the lab. Parallelly, they need to do the practical in the laboratory. So for this, we have very good equipment laboratory. I request all the parents and the students who are part of this particular webinar to visit the college to check yourself what are the different facilities that is having in the college, in the department of ECE. You yourself can see all the equipments that is required for the curriculum, and you can see the your COE also. It is so well equipped, and all the softwares that is required for doing advanced research are available in the laboratory. And we are having a this particular, especially for the parents and also to the students, we are having a very good mentoring and counseling system. What is this mentoring and counseling system is, the students who are joining this particular program, when they join, they are really, I can say, very raw student. Okay, they will not have a good idea about what to do and what are the scope, etc. And there are some students who gets actually homesick, or when actually they cannot perform well in the education or perform well in certain subject, they feel demotivated. For those type of students, we have a mentoring system. Every teacher or every faculty in the college, they will be having 20 students behind them or below them. Every teacher will be mentoring 20 students, and teacher will be actually talking to those 20 students along with the parents, so that the teacher will know each and every problem faced by the students. Based on the problems, we will actually give the solution on individual basis. So it is not a common solution. We know individual cases. Based on the individual cases, we'll give the solution. And what is counseling? When actually mentoring system, we are not able to solve the problem. If the problem is something beyond our capacity, that is, it is psychological, then we have a professional counselor in the college, and professional counselor will definitely counsel and see to that the grievance or whatever problem the student has, it will be counseled and rectified. And we have a grievance redressal cell. These grievance students, whenever they have some grievance, they can easily approach the grievance redressal cell, so that whatever their grievance will be solved. And this is another important thing, incubation center facility. The college, to be frank, college itself is having a incubation center facility. The student who wanted to actually have a innovation mind, they can actually develop their own product. They can actually go to incubation center. They can incubate their product. They can launch their product. They can start their own industry, and they can become a owner of the industry. This incubation center is available in the college. This incubation center, it is actually approved by Government of India and that AICT. So we are having a AICT approved incubation center facility in the college. And innovation and patent filing mechanism is a basic of anybody who joined in the college. Actually, every student who joins our college, we want them to be innovative and competitive in the world. So you know that mantra, if we are not innovative, automatically we will not survive in the world. We are teach the student how to be innovative. What are the innovation thinking that need to be developed, and motivate the student towards innovation. So once we motivate the student, automatically their thinking process increases, and then when they are actually coming to the higher semester, automatically they become more innovative, and the level of project they do, it actually can, you can see, you can talk to the students when they come to the seventh sem, when they do the project, because of this basic knowledge what we are feeling in the lower semester, the type of project what they implement, it is really innovative. And there are many students who have won national and international prizes based on their project. And what is this patent filing? Based on the innovation whatever they are doing, college is giving all the facility required for patent filing. So once they file the patent, automatically their innovation is protected, and they can claim their innovation for future, so that their patents are available. Anybody is using the patent, they can get the royalty, or they themselves can develop the patent as a product and get the benefit out of it. And in the department, we are having 3 student club. What is the student club? Actually, we wanted to motivate the students to organize something on their own, so that we wanted to inculcate the process of our the thinking of organizing capacity, and bringing the students together and organizing a event. And when they organize the event, what type of events it has to be organized, so that it can attract the students to participate. So we are having 3 student clubs. One is, we call it as a ETA club. ETA club is nothing but electronics and technology club. Okay. And another one is conversations club. Actually, that club is also a club which is actually into a design aspect of the electronics. Third one is your IEEE Students Club. This IEEE Student Club is a student club which is affiliated to international society, that is IEEE society. Student need to be part of it. Is I am stressing the word need to be. Student need to be part of at least one club, and we will ensure that every student is actually exposed to this type of activity, so that they are not lagging behind this type of activity. So student will be actually performing this type of activity, at least one activity under one club in each week. So this will enable them to be actually how to interact with the students among themselves, how to improve their organizing skill, and how to improve their presentation skills, etc. And the next point, mini project and entrepreneur project, very very important aspect. The mini project actually, this mini project concept was introduced in the first semester itself, because engineering is not just reading theory and doing the experiment in the lab, but engineering has to be experienced by projects. Actually, I can say doing a project is as good as learning 3 theory subjects. So the amount of exposure student gets when they do the project is so much, that is equal to as good of learning 3 theory subjects. So many projects are introduced in from first semester onwards. The students need to carry out first semester, second semester, third semester, fourth semester, and fifth semester 5 mini projects. Every semester 5 mini projects, and this outcome of the mini project is automatically linked to their internal assessment. So every students who are participating in the mini project and doing a project under mini project will be assessed by the faculty for internal assessment. And in the sixth semester, we are having entrepreneur project. What is this entrepreneur project? Actually, we wanted to put the student under this entrepreneur environmental also. What is entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is nothing but developing a product for somebody else and selling it, or earning the money out of it. So here what we do is, we will actually allow the student batches to to go approach the outside environment and collect the problem, and based on the problem collected they have to design a product and submit it to the person who actually posed the problem and get the feedback about the performance. And if it is a industry, they can sell the product and earn some money. So like this we are going to give the entire product development management cycle to the student. So this entrepreneur project will definitely enable the students to understand the world, or to understand the entrepreneur skill that is required to uh, survive in the world. Next, self-learning through MOOC courses. Now, actually, these online webinars and MOOC courses are actually, we can say, previously online courses that was available for self-learning. Now, these type of webinars have become another tool for having a self-learning. Every student, when they are in the third semester and fifth semester, they have to do at least one MOOC course. When they are in third semester and fifth semester, they have to do at least one MOOC course to enable the self-learning. That MOOC course should be a course which is other than what they are learning in the curriculum. So by this, we are ensuring the students to do learning on its own, because this learning on its own, his or her own, is very, very important, because we wanted students to keep learning even after the college, because learning is one process which would never stop. Once learning stops, automatically knowledge stops. So we are enabling the students to have the self-learning capacity through MOOC courses. Next, industrial internship. This is one important aspect now. Students, whether they are in the first semester or in the eighth semester, we encourage students to go for internship, because industrial internship is one particular aspect which will give the students the exposure of the industry. And I can say this is one of the integral one should it should be one of the integral part of any engineering program, so that students should know how the industry is, how it functions, how actually the levels of organization is available, and actually how the each product that is developed in industry, those things exposure students will get, and we will ensure that industry and what they are learning. So if you have to fill the gap, naturally we will call the expert in the particular field to give the guest lecture. And if we still feel a industrial person can come and give a lecture, so that he can give a better exposure, how there is a gap, how to fill the gap. That is actually done using these guest lectures and expert lectures. Another important aspect that's available in the department is industrial visit. So when I said industrial visit, students will be taken to industrial visits. And when we are selecting an industrial visit, we'll select such that the industrial visit will be related to what they learn in the theory. Let us assume CMRIT. They will be very strongly encouraged in the sports and cultural activity. And you can come and check, or you can come and visit our college and check. You can, there will be number of what I can say is prizes that is won by the students every year. To be frank, many times our college has won as one of the best sports institute in Visvesvaraya Technological University. And cultural activity, our college itself actually organize a an annual cultural festival. Along with this, all the students are encouraged to participate cultural activity outside the college wherever it is organized. So most of the students who are interested in particular, there are rank holders available, and rank holders are now very well placed. Most of the rank holders, they are either in the company, and many of them, to be frank, they are doing higher studies in the abroad. And why I'm insisting on this higher studies, rank holders as such, they have that attitude towards learning better and going for a higher position. Even I encourage that, because everybody goes for a job. There should be somebody to do research also. So normally whenever a student gets rank, I will actually recommend the students to go for higher studies, because higher studies are a better knowledge area is one where India should have, and they should come back to our country and serve the society. And you can see every year there will be a rank holder. Okay. And the rank holders are doing very good, and every year they come and actually give the talk to their juniors, and during the talk they will say what are the important points that has to be learned, and department every year there will be a rank. Okay. So with this, actually, I wanted to give exposure to the student support system that is available in the college. This grievance redressal system is a college facilities also available. Incubation center, college facilities available. Patent filing mechanism, innovation, or doing a project, innovative project, etc. And college is having a collaboration with the leading agencies and industry. So you can come and see the laboratories are set up in such a thing. The level of the laboratory is so good. Lot of researches are happening. Lot of centrally funded the fundings are happening, so that the students can be part of it and they can excel in the particular field of their interest. And another important thing that I wanted to mention, activity club. To be frank, under this club, actually student will be going to the villages. Colleges adopted now actually one village, and the colleges adopted 5 more villages under Government of India scheme. So totally 6 villages are there around Bangalore, which college student and college management, they will be actually developing those villages along with the Government of India. Students will be part of that. So those students who are really interested in serving the society, they will be part of it. And during this particular serving, they can actually develop the technology for the village, or they can do the social service, something like improving the quality of education, teaching the students in the village schools, okay, or cleaning the society, cleaning the villages through our NSS program, etc. Okay, and these are the rankings of the institution. As I told you previously, our college is approved by All India Council of Technical Education, and it is affiliated to Visvesvaraya Technological University. All the programs are accredited by the National Board of Accreditation. Very important, because any college or any program that is accredited by NBA, it means they are satisfying the requirement that is required for a best education system. And this already I have told you, CMRIT is the only college in Bangalore which is actually awarded NAC A+ grade. And our college is actually ranked around 200 among the top colleges in India. And college, the India Today, they have ranked 93rd best college in the India, and ranked this EW, that is again another agency who is ranking agency. They have ranked 32nd and among India, and 8th in the Karnataka. And the week Times of Engineering, they have ranked our college as the 75th best college among 100 top colleges in India. And these are some of the rankings that is actually almost every agency who are ranking the college, they have ranked our college very good. And this particular ranking, I just wanted to tell you, it is an important ranking which was announced few days back. Our Vice President, Sri Venkata Naidu ji, they have announced the Atal ranking for innovation. Atal ranking for innovation is nothing but based on the innovation that is happening in the colleges. They will rank the colleges in India. To be frank, colleges in India, it is thousands in number. The CMRIT, they are branded or they are grouped into 26th to 50th rank. Why this 26th to 50th is number of colleges are available with 26 ranks and 50 within that band. So they are not giving 26 rank to so many colleges. They are branding. If you want, you can just log on to this particular Atal ranking. You can just check the credential. So our college, CMRIT, is ranked with 26th to 50th brand. So this gives you a broad idea how much innovation is actually happening in the college. So every student who are coming to the college, they will be actually put it into innovation process, because if this innovation process, automatically the amount of learning that is happening to the student, it will be very good, and this will lead to better placement and better higher education. So these are some of the things. This is the admission process I have told you: CET, ComEdK, JEE, AIEEE, and you should have at least one basic rank from all these things. And this is my last slide. I thank you for actually joining me. If you have any question, I am ready to answer that.
Sir, just an interruption. This is Papa here. I would like to show our department laboratories, because our professor was explaining about the courses as well as the laboratories.
Hello.
So I'll just... Hello? Sir, am I audible?
Madam?
Yes, sir.
I am audible, madam?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir. You're audible.
Hello, any question? No, you just, I am not audible, I think.
No, sir, you are audible, sir.
I am not receiving any question. Please stop, one of you. Hello. Madam will take you to some of the laboratory facility that is available in the college. It is by photo actually.
So good morning all. During the presentation, our professor was explaining about the curriculum as well as the laboratory facilities which were available in our department. So I'd like to just show you all the laboratories whichever is there. So in the third semester, this is a fundamental laboratory which will introduce to all the electronic components like transistor, diodes, what are the characteristics about the transistor, diode, amplifier, oscillators, all those things. So this is the fundamental laboratory which is the analog electronics laboratory. So this will give a brief introduction about all the components as well as the working experiments. You will be having lot of hands-on in this, and not only this is hardware experiments, this can be related to simulation also, where in the simulation you will be able to simulate using a lab view. You can do all the experiments in the lab view also. Then in the same third semester you have another laboratory which will introduce to ICs, that is integrated circuits, like whatever you would have studied in your PU level also in basic electronics. So like
continuous night
all those things. So such kind of introduction to gates, so many fundamental experiments you will have in digital electronics laboratory. So you can do hardware as well as in lab view as well as link. Then in coming to other higher semester, you have laboratories include Verilog and VHDL courses. You have signal processing lab, which is DSP lab. Then you have IC, circuit lab, microcontroller and microprocessor lab. These are going to be explaining about the embedded applications. So that is a fundamental point for the embedded applications. It will introduce to all the concepts of microprocessors and microcontroller. And this is the embedded controller lab, which comes in the higher semester after the microcontroller lab. Then you have computer communication methods laboratory. Basically related to, about LAN connection, local area network. So those concepts you will be studying in this computer communication laboratory. Then all communication experiments, antenna, microwave equipment, analog communication, digital communication is included in digital communication laboratory. Then this is Verilog scale integration laboratory. Booming technology in the field of electronic communication. Lot of job opportunities are available. So these are some of the laboratory sessions which we wanted to just introduce. So is it audible? Hello? Sir, is it audible?
Hello? Is it audible? Madam is telling something. Shall I call Sandeep and ask? But yours is not audible to me. Hello. Whether Madam is audible, actually Madam is trying to present the laboratory, whether she is audible, someone can answer.
So this is a curriculum. This is a course-wise, just the contents. This you will be studying in the first semester, which is fundamental mathematics, physics, electrical engineering, civil engineering, then engineering graphics, physics laboratory, electrical laboratory, and you have a technical English course also. This is in the second semester. You will be, in the first year, you will be put under two categories, physics cycle and chemistry cycle. In the first semester, if you are studying physics cycle, in the second semester, you will be studying chemistry cycle. So it is alternate, physics cycle and chemistry cycle. So first year, it is under all fundamental subjects which you have studied in PUC level. Along with that, introduction to the engineering curriculum. That will be continued. And coming to the third semester onwards, you will be introduced into the electronics and communication department curriculum. So starting from third semester, you have maths, then all the fundamental subjects you have, such as network analysis, analog electronics, which is electronic devices, digital system design, computer organization, power electronics, and lab. I showed you the laboratories, analog laboratories and digital laboratories. These are those two laboratories, electronic devices and instrumentation laboratory, digital system design laboratory. These are those two labs where you will be carrying out all the experiments, analog electronics lab and digital electronics lab. Same way in fourth semester, little advanced subjects. Likewise, till the 8th semester, your course
மேடம் பேசின்றாங்க எனக்கு வரவே இல்ல அவங்களுக்கு கேக்குதான் வேற ஒருத்தருக்கு
throughout the curriculum all the subjects are spread out in fourth semester. Analog circuits, maths, control systems, in maths itself another probability and linear algebra. This is the introduction to the signal processing subject, which is signals and systems. And this is a fundamental which starts dealing with the embedded subjects, which is microcontroller. And related to that, you have microcontroller laboratory and analog circuits laboratory, which is, I have shown you the microcontroller laboratory and the analog circuits laboratory. So these are the things. Then coming to fifth semester onwards, advanced subjects will come into picture. Digital signal processing, communication, fundamentals of communication, for the security purpose, information theory and coding, introduction to field theory, DSP laboratories. So the course structure is planned properly where the subjects are evenly distributed in all the semesters. So this is what we would just like to show about all the labs and the curriculum. Now it is left to you people. If there are any questions, we are ready to answer and you are welcome. We are here to answer your questions.